So you've just polished your natural nails so perfectly, but you don't want them to chip. You've done such a great job. You want it to last. Let me show you how I can make your manicure last. I'm going to break down my steps to minimize chipping. Let me share my secrets for a long-lasting, beautiful manicure. It's going to give your nails the royal treatment. Let's get started. I have a very special guest today, but due to extreme security issues, I had to keep a real tight lid on this one. With great honor, I would like to welcome our international renowned guest directly from London, appearing on currency, coins, and postage stamps, an accomplished waver and handshaker. She's attended many royal weddings. Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm so excited to have you on my set.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here.
I wanted to really demonstrate how you can perform the royal treatment on a manicure so we don't have any lifting, and I thought you'd be the perfect guest.
Why, how lovely of you to think of me. I follow all your videos all the time. Well, I'll tell my little secret to you, since you shared one with the audience. It's a little known fact, but if I had not become the Queen of England, I would have become a nail artist, I think.
Wow, I'm so flattered.
Yes. So if you're teaching how to do this properly, I'm all ears.
Yes. Oh, well.
And hands, of course.
You are a perfect model for me today.
Thank you.
So we want to start with a beautiful set of natural nails, and that's what we have here today. So when we want to keep that polish on, there's a few things we want to do to make sure that it's going to stay on for all your events, your outings, your work, whatever you're doing. You want to make sure you have a beautiful set that's going to last you some time. So we begin with a beautiful set of natural nails, a royal set in this case. Very special set. But the number one thing most people do is they kind of go and wash their hands. You can do this, and definitely we all do that in the beginning of a service, but you don't want to do it for a very long time or soak in a tub before you go get a manicure, because the natural nail can hold a lot of water in there. And when you put the polish on, even though it's nice and dry, sometimes it can leach out into the natural nail over time and therefore deflect the polish, and it can literally peel and chip off. So wash your hands, but do it quick. And when you are washing your hands, don't use soap with oils in it. A lot of soaps do have oils in them and lanolins to keep the hands nice and supple so it doesn't get dry, right? So we don't want that going on to the nail. So we've washed our hands, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to deal with the cuticle. Now, have you had manicures before?
Occasionally, mostly I do it myself.
You do?
Yes, but that will account for some of the odd shapes, I suppose.
Well, you're very resourceful.
Thank you.
And a lot of people do them at home, and that's why I'm giving these guys tips, because they want to be able to do it at home yourself. So here's a few tips for you, too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So we have a beautiful set of there's nothing wrong with them. There's no, not even any hangnails, really, or any sores or anything like that. So we can go ahead and start gently pushing the cuticle back. Now, there's several things you can use to push a cuticle back. A wooden stick is nice to use because it's very soft. You can use a metal implement. If you do use it, just use it very, very gently. There's also these kind of spongy ones with kind of a soft tip that you can do that, and they can be effective as well. So if you find the cuticle is a little bit stubborn or a little bit dry even, you can get a cuticle softener, eliminator, remover, and what you want to do with that is you just want to put a little bit on the natural nail, on the cuticle. But again, you want to make sure that you're not leaving it on too long, because you don't want the oils to soak in and continue leaching out after you've done the manicure. A lot of times if you go to a manicure, in the old days, we used to, I don't know if you remember this, in the old days, we used to soak it in warm soapy water, like for quite some time. But the hands will absorb all that water. So nowadays, we've learned not to do that. So we just do a little bit of a cuticle softener. And this, if you have a stubborn cuticle, you don't really, but you can just push it back. The reason why we want to gently push back the cuticle is simply because when you are putting the nail polish on, that if you have any little bits of cuticle, it's an organic substance and it'll deflect the polish away. It'll just start to push it away. Now, everybody can have a different oil content in your natural nail bed. I had these two little girls that lived right next to me, and I would polish their nails. And one little girl's polish came off in 2 days, and the other little girl's survived 7 days. And why is that? Because one had a more oily nail bed than the other, just like our skin. And so the oils came up through the natural nail and deflected the polish off. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're just trying to make sure that we have no oils and anything on the nail. Obviously, I've just put this moisture on here, but I'm going to wipe it off, and I have a secret for that. So I was thinking, I was raised in Victoria, and this is your visit, and I'm so glad you were able to come and see me, but how many times have you been to Victoria?
The royal family visits here whenever possible. We just love it here. It reminds us of life at the palace, actually. So it's sort of like home away from home, you know? You can have tea many times a day and high tea in the afternoon, you know, featuring those little sandwiches with the edges cut off.
Yes, I've been there a couple
Mine,
of times.
of course, are specially made, keeping on the upper crust.
That's adorable.
Oh, this is true. True story.
Well, I just went on a ghost walk the other day around Victoria.
Oh, yes.
I learned that...
You didn't see any of my ancestors, did you?
No, I don't think so.
No.
But we went to Roger's Chocolates, and
yes.
Apparently that's your favorite chocolate.
It is.
It is. So to make you feel comfortable, I actually brought you some. So you don't have to have them sent to you now. I'll just give you some.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, there's a few different flavors.
That is so nice.
It'll go nice with your tea.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
I know, they're so good.
Will you share them with
Oh,
me?
yes. It's chocolate. Come on now.
Yeah.
Just as a side note, you can also push back your cuticles a little bit after a shower. That's when they get really soft if you didn't want to do all the other stuff. So I'm going to just remove this product before I start filing with a little bit of alcohol, just to clean off the oils off of the nail bed. So you've cleaned up the surface of the nail bed, and now we want to shape the edges and the free edge. I'm going to do that. You need a good set of files. I've got my files. As some of you may know, I have my brush and file kit, but I'm actually selling the whole file kit now on its own without the brush. You can check nailcareer.com for that if you're interested.
I'm interested.
You're interested? Well, then you can have this set. I'll send it home with you and your chocolate. Okay, so with that great set of files, you want to get the fine one in here. There's a fine medium course, and that's to do acrylic and gel, but also to do natural nails. You want to grab the fine one, and we're going to shape the free edge. And how you want to begin that is you just want to go one way. You don't want to seesaw back and forth because it'll fray the edge of the nail, and then it can cause some, breakage, and you don't want to go there. You just want to give a nice, gentle shape of what you like. You have a really nice shaped nail bed. There's not a whole lot of shaping I have to do. I'm just going to even out a few of the free edges.
I hope you'll come and visit the palace.
Oh my goodness. Is that an invitation?
Yes, please.
Can I stay overnight?
Yes. Stay for a month.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. We can talk nails.
I'm very nosy. You'll have to tell
you?
me. Oh, yes. I'll have to talk to you about lots of history. I've watched all your shows.
Oh, have you?
Oh, yes. With
Oh.
Helen Mirren, and that we watched The Crown, and
yes.
I've caught everything. So when you finish shaping the edges of the nails in the desired shape that you want to pay attention to the surface. So remember when we removed all the cuticle, you could just give the surface a light, I'm talking really, really like feel this file. See how smooth that is? Mm-hmm. I call it the smooth and shine. This is like a 4,000, 300 on one side and 4,000 on the other side. So they're very, very, very fine. So for the natural nails, you want to use a very soft, fine grit. Don't use these coarser ones for the natural nail, unless you're putting on acrylic for a couple of them. So for that surface, we'll just use one finger right now, but you just want to gently buff off, slough off any of that organic cuticle and just make it nice and smooth. The reason why we want to do that is because we want to make sure when we put the polish on that it just glides across the cuticle ever so smooth. So you just want to give a very light buffing.
These thumbs of mine, they seem to get little ridges.
Oh, yes. That's actually
Like
very
It's
normal.
almost as if my thumbs worry a bit about life.
Maybe they are a little bit worried, a little stressed. So what happens is when the natural nails are growing, the natural nail, when it grows out, you have some higher points and some lower points.
Yes.
Those higher ridges,
Yes.
those are the high points of where the natural nail's thickness should be.
Oh.
So below those ridges, which creates the little valleys, so you got mountains and valleys, below they're thinner than they should be.
Oh.
Yeah. Some people think that you can take a coarser file and just file those ridges out. You can, and makes it very, very smooth. There's no doubt.
Yes.
But it's now made the nails super, super thin.
Yes, I see.
So when it grows out, it'll fray on the edge and split and cause you a lot of
Is it
upset
something I'm
misery.
doing or not doing?
No, it's completely natural.
Just
It's just totally natural. It's how our nails grow. As we get older, the nails can get ridgier.
oh.
So there's nothing wrong with them. It's just some people don't like it as much because they like it to be super, super smooth. I should mention, if your ridges, your natural ridges, like as you get older, the ridges can get a bit stronger. If they do get really strong, you can buy a ridge filler. And what that is a product just like nail polish. You can get it just in a bottle. You just paint it on and it fills in between the ridges and levels it out. Yours aren't really that strong. I know you kind of notice it more in your thumbs, but honestly, when you put the polish on, it'll just sort of fill in. But if you have really deeper ones, you can use that. So when I go over this with a super fine file, I'm not actually hitting the bottom ridges. I'm just buffing slightly the top ridges. Just give it a little bit of a buff. Mm-hmm. Okay. And did you want them much shorter, or are you finding this length quite nice?
No, that's quite nice for me.
You don't do dishes and stuff, do you, much?
No. In fact, I don't think I've ever been to the kitchen. Now that you mention it. Slight exaggeration.
Well, for those of us who do dishes, I'd recommend you wear gloves. But you do all the time.
I do all the time, yes.
You have the softest hands. So now we've done all the dusty parts. So now we're just going to wipe a little bit of dust away. Here's the biggest secret. If I'm going to share my royal secret with you. One thing that makes polish lift is oils. We've put a little bit of oil in there. We removed it, but we're going to do one more step to make sure it's 100% gone. This is what will make your manicure last. Get yourself a cotton pad and get yourself some acetone. Some will recommend nail polish remover, but nail polish remover can have a lot of oils and lanolin in it, and that's to keep the skin nice and soft. You ever notice when you use acetone, if you put it on your skin, it will actually turn the skin around it kind of white because it's really drawing all of the oils out of you, and it's like 99% effective. But nail polish remover will have a little bit of oils in it, so you're actually putting oil on the nail plate. And if you have any issues with lifting, that's what's going to be causing it. So you want to take a little bit of acetone, and I just sort of make sure it's not hitting the skin. It's not going to hurt the skin because we're going to replenish it with oil. But just remove all of the oil off with your 100% acetone. Now we put a base coat on. And the reason why we want to put a base coat on when you're doing natural nails is to protect your nails from any kind of stain. I don't suspect you're going to pick a black. Maybe you'll surprise me. A black nail color, but any darker color like a red or even a mustardy yellow, any polish with a strong pigment can stain the natural nail.
Oh.
So we want to put on a nice base coat. Now I picked up a whole bunch of Essie polish because I understand your favorite color is ballet slippers.
Yes.
Yes.
So you knew that.
I didn't. My viewers told me that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, I didn't know that that was out there.
Yes, I just thought that I'm going to pick up some other colors just in case you want something a
So
little
you're
different.
saying I could have a choice?
You can. You can sort of
Oh.
pick what you want. I usually give the client some time to, think about what color, because you don't always know.
No,
Colors
that's
are
true.
pretty
Well,
personal.
I mean, I must say my eye went right to that dark one because it matches my crown.
Yes, it does.
But I suppose that's
It's like a
my-
royal blue.
Yes.
Yeah. This is ballet slippers, and it is so obviously perfectly you.
Oh, yes. Yes, I like that very much, I must say.
You couldn't
very
wear this one.
pretty.
It's called Wild Nude.
It ought to be iffy, wouldn't it? Yeah, yes.
It is
Let's not
stunning.
go with, what's it called, Wild Nude?
Wild Nude. Yeah, you like that one?
Well, it's a bit risky.
Yeah. Ladylike. This one's called Ladylike.
Excuse me. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Sometimes it slips down.
Oh, I do that all the time. I might have to use that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, these names are certainly very provocative, aren't they? But,
High maintenance.
I'm very easygoing. I'm not high maintenance at all. You know what I'm thinking? Do you ever do something like a focus nail,
Oh, yes. We call that an accent nail, but a focus nail is cute. I like that.
Well, you see, I'm hoping that Elton John, do you know Elton John?
Not personally, but he is one of my favorites. Do you know him?
Yes. Well, I knighted him, actually. But I was going to be asking him for tea this week. I'm hoping he can come. And I just thought I would surprise him, sort of honoring him in a way, because I know he likes a little bling. And if I could have like a focus nail, would that work?
Well, you have come to the right place.
Have I?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, of course, I know that I've come to the right place, actually.
I have actually, look at this. I'm going to give you this. Look at this. It sparkles just like you do.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
We'll place those in there. That'll be beautiful.
On
the focus nail.
On the focus nail. Focus nail,
yes.
Let's do that. And I was thinking, when we drink tea, when Elton and I are drinking tea, for instance, I'm thinking, that would look very nice, wouldn't it? This nail?
It'll catch his eye.
I think so.
Not that everything else wouldn't, but that he's going to be drawn into the nail. There's no question about it.
Well, that's lovely. I'm so excited.
It's settled.
And are we doing the ballet slipper?
We can. You can still think about it. I'm still going to put the base coat on.
Of course.
So we're going to do the base coat. And the base coat allows the polish to sit on top of it and causing a much smoother surface. And again, when you remove it, if you picked a dark color, it would definitely stop it from staining. So we're just going to put a nice coat of the base coat on. So what I like to do when I'm putting polish, just a quick little tip, you sort of get a bunch of it, put it in the middle, don't go right to the cuticle, you don't want to flood it, and just push it up gently to the cuticle, and then bring it down one side, bring it down the other side, and then clean it off in the middle. So you want to do that with all this. You don't want to do a very thick coat with this, because you still got 2 coats of color to go, and a top coat.
We don't have fun like this at the palace.
What do you do?
Raining mostly.
Oh, well, it's like Victoria. We rain a lot here.
Yes.
Not as much as Vancouver, though.
No? Is that right?
It rains a lot more.
I didn't mean that kind of rain, actually. Easy mistake to make.
My bad. You can cap the free edge if you like. It's a little harder to do on natural nails because they're so thin. But you can do it. It's debatable whether it really helps or not. It might help more in a gel situation. The thing is, if you make it too thick, you can grab onto it and peel it back. But if you don't cap it, sometimes it can peel back on its own. So it's sort of a personal decision. And with your experience, you can feel it out. Okay, so we have now got to pick the color. What color do you think that you would like?
Well, I think I would like the ballerina.
You would? Okay. I think the ballerina slippers is perfectly you. I'm glad I picked it up. I picked up a lot of other ones, but I'm glad I grabbed this because I wasn't sure if you would choose it or not. Okay, so polish goes on basically the same way. If you are going to cap tip of the finger, then I would probably do it first, because if you put it on first, then you can sort of smooth it over. But if you put the polish on first and then cap it, you might have a bit of a bump. So we are going to use the same method, actually. I'm going to go more to the center, 3/4 up, and you sort of push it a little bit. You bring it down the other side, and the other side. That looks pretty good. Depending on what color you put on, it can look a little streaky at first, but first coats can tend to do that. You always want to apply 2 coats. Some polishes don't require 2 coats. They might have a really heavy 1 coat, but most are going to be 2 coats. So I will kind of let it dry for a little bit. And then usually by the time you do both hands, by the time you get back to the second hand, you're ready to go for the second coat. Nail polish is pretty good nowadays. It dries pretty fast. You don't have to wait for it to completely dry. So I'm going to go ahead now and do the second coat. Okay, so if you choose not to cap the free edge with the color, do it with the top coat. That's probably quite sufficient to do it just like that. If you do the color as well, it can make it a little bit bulky on the end, especially with natural nails because they're quite a bit thinner. So now you can look at the 2 coats and see if that's good enough. Depending on the color, you might want to go 3. Some colors are fine just with the 1, like this color in particular. This one might actually cover it in just 1 coat. But the see-through one like that, if you want it really see-through, it might be what you want, is just 1 coat of very light and you want a see-through look. But if you want it to cover a bit more, you can go up to 3. But I think that looks pretty good. Do you like that?
I love it.
Yeah?
Look at the difference.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It doesn't look like that when I've done it. But from now on, I think I could do a better job.
Okay.
Yes.
I've taught the queen some things.
It's quite lovely.
Her Majesty would like to have a focus nail, as she calls it. So I've got some special, they're actually quite flat. They're like a mylar. But look at them. Aren't they beautiful?
Lovely.
So we are going to do the focus nail. We're going to stick that in. It's called Polish Secure, and you can do it very quickly and easily. You just need a fresh coat of top coat. So let's grab our top coat. This is no disrespect for you, but I do this all the time.
Oh, we do that at the palace also.
I love this.
You've never seen pictures of Henry VIII or stories? He was always throwing the chicken bones over his shoulder. That's probably where you got it
That's
from.
where I get it from. I got a little English
Are you
blood.
royal blood yourself?
I think I must.
Yes, probably. Yes.
Okay, when you put the top coat on, you can have a little tool like this now. Whoopsie. Comes in a really great little case. I bought this off of Amazon. Carolyn will put the links below so you can get one of these too. Ooh, that's a good
Be careful. Don't throw glasses over.
Good tip.
Bad form.
I got to work on my form. Okay, so because I want a harder surface, because I'm going to dab the wax tip onto it, I'm just going to dump a few of these on there. You don't need many.
Now, I'm very glad that I'm getting to see this because you should see what I was thinking of trying to put on my focus nail at home.
What were you going to do?
Well, I'll have to reach into my handbag,
okay.
if I may.
Yeah, be careful. Don't gun that.
Oh, yes, I'll use my left hand. Yes,
go for it.
Yes.
Do you always wear gloves? Like you carry them everywhere?
Pretty much.
You do?
So,
oh, my goodness.
So, yes, I'd been wondering how I could stick that on, but...
Well, is that real?
Yeah, oh, yes, it's...
Can I touch it?
Yes, of course. You can even have it if you like.
I can have it. Oh, yes.
I have lots.
Okay, so if you wanted to adhere something like this...
Yes. Chip a few pieces off.
Yes. You might want to make it a flat bottom. It might be a little easier.
Yeah.
You would need some serious gel, hard gel or acrylic. But, I mean, anything can be done.
I suppose.
It look neat as a ring, too. But you don't do dishes or anything, so you could wear this. It's not very practical.
But then, now that I think of it, maybe it's a little too much.
Little much? Okay, so maybe we'll just stick with these guys?
Yes, I'll just...
Maybe Elton might want that.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Okay, so we want to put a fresh coat of your top coat on. But with nail polish, it's a bit different. If you're working with gel polish, it doesn't dry right away. But nail polish will want to dry a little bit sooner. So we don't want to work too slow. Okay, so we want to get a nice top coat on there. I love top coats. It smooths everything out. I will cap it too, because we do want this to last. And the capping will just wrap it right around the edge there. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my Mylar. Ooh.
What is?
And there's littler ones in there too. Oh yeah.
I think my great-grandchildren are going to enjoy this too.
Yes. Kids do love anything that sparkles. Kids and Elton John.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, isn't that pretty? And what's nice about it, it's flat. It won't get in the way of anything, unlike that big giant thing.
Oh, that's true. I would have had to wear very large gloves.
I couldn't imagine the gloves.
Really, really big.
That would take away all the daintiness, wouldn't it?
It would.
Oh, that's really cute. So obviously it's an artistic thing. You can cover the whole nail, or you can just put on little bits, like it's sort of crawling up the nail. I don't think I want to get too chunky on you. You're very elegant.
Am I understated?
No. You're just perfect. You're exactly what I would expect you to be.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
So I'm going to get a cuticle stick. And if you get anything on the edge, just take a cuticle stick.
Do you know, seriously, I actually rain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, month after month. Raining.
Do you ever get some downtime?
No, this is really
like when I'm finished here, I will go upstairs and I will take off my clothes and put my muumuu on and just totally chill out. Do you have like a muumuu?
No, but I think I should have.
Yes.
This is sort of my
That's your muumuu?
My sort of hanging about.
You need to get a really comfy pair of
and
sweats.
I've had my tiara surgically attached because it's always raining. So
true. Okay, so we're going to top coat all the other ones. Isn't that pretty?
Beautiful.
Love it.
May I just?
Yes. Oh yes, it's a great focus nail.
Is it? Yeah.
You're going to impress all your fancy friends. That just looks amazing. It just glistens.
Wow. So pretty.
It is very pretty.
I must say, I don't often say wow. I think that's first.
She's going to say wow today. Okay, let's get the top coat on.
Very good.
So sealing the nail with the top coat will help it last a lot longer. Also, it wears. Whatever you're doing in your life, they'll wear. So after a couple of days, you can reapply that top coat and you will get a much longer wear for it as well. Okay, so now we wait till they dry a little bit, and then we can put, I'm just going to put this away, then we can put an oil on, and that replenishes back into the skin and the cuticles around it, just gives it a nice, healthy glow. So I do have the cuticle oil here, but I will show you, I checked out the color the other day. It is very strong in color. It's very pretty, and it smells wonderful, but I do find, I won't put it on you because I do find it's very, very strong in color. See that? And it can tint the skin a little bit on that darker color. So I'm just going to use this one. Just using a mango California oil I picked up at a Sally's. So I will just put that a little bit around the cuticle. You can just drop it on the cuticle and it'll just spread around. Oil used to be something before, in the olden days, before they got polish that dried a little bit faster, we used to just put oil on top of the polish and it helped it dry a little bit faster. Also, for a little drying tip, you can run them under cold water. It helps set a little bit better. But the best thing really is just to sit and, are you okay to just sit and let it dry and don't do nothing? Just for a few minutes. Now you've given yourself the royal treatment in a manicure that's going to last a long time. I suggest when you are out and about, no gloves now. You can show off that beautiful manicure.
You're so right. It is lovely. And yes, I can do without the gloves for sure. Yes. You're a natural. That's very good. But do you know, now you've shared so much with me today. I'm going to share you a little of my expertise, which is waving, one of the things. And
there's a knack to it,
I have to tell, well, there is. But what I was going to say is I have actually developed a series of waves. For instance, if I'm visiting Canada, I would have an East Coast wave. And, and this is the West Coast wave. Oh, because we're on the West Coast,
yes,
right?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
So why don't I teach you?
Show me how to do that.
Yes. So you want to show off your beautiful nails. Okay. So you want to.
Is there a particular hand you should do that right?
Well, I go with my right hand. So you're going to do kind of something like that.
You do it much classier than I do.
West Coast wave.
Okay, well.
Yeah, lovely. Together now.
Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you reschedule.
Oh, I will. Next time I'm in Canada,
You'll come to get your
I'll be
nails
here. Yes,
Thank you so much for
and
joining
you drop
me.
in at the palace.
Oh, I will take you up on that. I'll bring my moo and I'll bring you some sweats.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you guys had fun. Catch you in the next video.